Hello everyone, welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, we'll go through the second review quiz for the Module B exam for Math 117. In the previous video, we did the first review quiz, and I had a couple of requests to go through the second one, so let's go ahead and do it. So first question is asking us to solve an equation for V. So I'm going to multiply both sides of this equation by V plus 2 to clear the denominator. So we're going to have -6 equals -4 times V plus 2. Then I'm going to divide by -4 on both sides. So -6 over -4 equals V plus 2. And 6 over 4, so -6 over -4, that's positive. And I can divide both 6 and 4 by 2. So I have 3 over 2 equals V plus 2. And to solve for V, I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. Now, from what I've seen, Alex will not give you credit if you leave it in this form. So when it says simplify your answer as much as possible, they want you to write this as a single fraction. So we can do that by saying, well, 3 over 2 minus, now let's make a common denominator. So 2 here, I'm going to multiply 2 by 2 over 2, so minus 4 over 2. So 3 over 2 minus 4 over 2, that's going to be -1/2. Very good. One way that we can check this is we can just go to Desmos, and maybe one thing I'll show you first is let's do 3 over 2 minus 2. So if we go here, 3 over 2 minus 2, and that's -1/2. You can also click this button here and it'll write it as -1/2 for you. Another thing we can do to check our work is we said, well, V is -1/2. So if I take, let's do -6 over, now V we said was -1/2, and then plus 2. Notice we get -4. So that's how we can check that we solved it correctly. So here I'll just write -1/2. All right, next question. All right, small publishing company is planning to publish a new book. Production costs will include one-time fixed costs and variable costs such as printing. One-time fixed cost will be $29,380. Variable cost will be $975 per book. The publisher will sell the finished product to the bookstore at prices of $22.75 per book. How many books must the publisher produce and sell so that the production costs will equal the money from the sales? So what's happening here is we're going to set up two linear equations, and we're just going to see where they're equal to each other. So kind of the cost of production. So it's saying upfront costs, or like the one-time fixed costs. This is going to be $29,380 plus, now each book costs $9.75, so 9.75, and then I'm going to use B to represent the number of books. And now let's do the money that they make. So the finished product is $22.75 per book. So I'm going to put maybe like sell. It's going to be 22.75B. And now we're interested when the production cost will equal the money from sales. So we want when cost is equal to sell, these two equations I have here. We could do this by hand, but let's just go to Desmos and plot them and see where they intersect. Now, I've used the variable B. I'm going to switch it to X in Desmos just because if I put B, it will think I don't want to plot it. So we'll use X, but 9.75X and 22.75X. And all right, let's zoom out. All right, so green line, remember this is the cost. Purple line is how much they make. So let's look at their intersection. If we zoom in, we can see here, intersection happens when they sell 2,260 books. So remember X was our B, so this is 2260. So when they sell 2,260 books, the amount that they make from selling the books will equal the amount that they spent to make the books. So we will go back to Alex and let's type in our answer. All right, very good. Let's keep going. All right, next question is saying solve the inequality for V. I'll also show you how to do this using Desmos, but let's do it by hand as well. So I'm gonna start by subtracting, well, let me write it down first. So we have 2V minus 5 greater than 4V minus 13. I'm gonna subtract 2V from both sides. So then minus 5 is greater than 2V minus 13. And now I'll just add 13 to both sides. So 13 minus 5 is 8 and greater than 2V. Now, because 2 is positive, I'm going to divide both sides by 2 and leave the inequality alone, so it doesn't change signs. So 4 greater than V. So this will be our answer. Another way of writing this is saying V is less than 4, so just reading it from right to left. So that's our answer. How can we check this? Well, I'll go back to Desmos. Again, I'll use x for the variable v, but we have, so 2v minus 5. Oops, and I did it. See, I mean to use x. And what's the other one? 4x minus 13. We want to know when is the first equation larger than the second. So if we zoom in, so notice the green equation is what we want that to be larger. So notice that's above the second equation, so long as x is smaller than 4, and that's exactly what we got. So when v is less than 4, the green line is above the black line. So our answer here will be v less than 4. Very good, let's keep going. All right, this one's saying find the slope and y-intercept of the line. Write your answers in simplest form. So as a reminder, slope-intercept form looks like y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So let's just rearrange. So we have negative 6x minus y equals minus 7. Then I'm going to add 6x to both sides. So minus y equals 6x minus 7. And now let's divide by negative 1. So y equals negative 6x plus 7. All right. So looking at this, what's our slope? It's negative 6. And what's our y-intercept? Well, it's 7. All right, very good. So slope, we said negative 6. Y-intercept, we said was 7. All right, let's keep going. All right, this one's saying graph of a function h is shown below. Use the graph of the function to find its average rate of change from x equals 0 to x equals 2. So this is on the interval 0 to 2. Now, in the previous video, we did one of these problems. So the average rate of change formula is going to be f of 2 minus f of 0 divided by 2 minus 0. This is just the slope of the line that connects f of 2 to f of 0. So let's take a look here and see. So f of 2 is 16. F of 0 is 1. So 16 minus 1 over 2 minus 0 is 2. So this is 15 over 2. All right, very good. And let me just double check our numbers. So f of 2 we said was 16. That looks good. F of 0 is 1. Perfect. So we get 15 over 2 minus 0. All right, that looks good. So we can kind of do a sanity check and say, well, I mean, that's not a straight line, but imagine that was a straight line. The average rate of change is just the slope of that line. Is it reasonable that that line is about 7.5? Yeah, that makes sense to me. One way we can do it is, remember, slope is rise over run. So if we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 over 1, 2. So 15 over 2. Very good. So slope here, 15 over 2. All right, next one is saying write an equation of the line below. I like to use slope intercept form. So let's compute the slope and then, or not slope, intercept. I like point slope actually for these ones, although we are given the y-intercept, so we could do it either way. First thing let's do is let's compute the slope. And notice we have the point 0, comma, -4. So we're going to have the point 0, -4. And remember, slope is rise over run. And you should ask yourself, is this a positive or a negative slope? Well, it's negative since it's decreasing from left to right. So, all right, let's compute the slope. So between these 2 points, it's a rise of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to put negative because it's decreasing. And then the run, let's see, here's -5 to 0. So the run will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So slope is -2. So the point slope equation for a line, we saw this in the other video as well, but it's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, where x1, y1 is just a point that's on the line. So in this case, we have the point 0, -4. So y minus -4, so minus 4 equals the slope -2 times x minus 0. So that's y plus 4 equals -2x plus 0 if I distribute. And then I'll subtract 4 from both sides, so y equals minus 2x minus 4. And notice this is the y equals mx plus b form. So we said the slope was -2, and the y-intercept is right here at -4. Very good. So we'll have y equals -2x minus 4. Very good. Let's keep going. This is another one where I'll show you how to do it by hand first, and then I'll also show you how to do it in Desmos. But we have 4x plus 5y equals -2, and we want 4x plus 3y equals 10. Notice we have 4x and 4x, so I'm going to subtract these two equations. So 4x minus 4x is 0. Then 5y minus 3y is 2y. -2 minus 10 is -12. So then if I divide by 2, y is equal to -6. Now, we also did this in the previous video. We have complete freedom to pick whichever of these equations we want to use to substitute. So we got y equals -6. I think I'm going to use the second equation just because notice I only have to multiply by 3 instead of 5. So to solve for x, we say 4x plus 3 times -6 is equal to 10. So 4x minus 18 equals 10. 4x equals 28, so x should be equal to 7. Okay, x equals 7, y equals -6. How can we do this with Desmos just to check our work? Or, on the test, you can also just use Desmos. But let's see, so we have 4x plus 5y equals -2. And then we have 4x plus 3y equals 10. And let's see where they intersect. They intersect at 7, -6, and remember that's exactly what we got. We got x equals 7, y equals -6. Very good. So x equals 7, y equals -6. Very good. All right. Next question, so word problems. Let's kind of, advice for word problems is just to pick out the most important information. So they're saying, okay, auto shop has 2 mechanics, fine. They charge a combined rate of $140 per hour, okay? On their most recent car, the first mechanic worked for 20 hours and the second mechanic worked for 5 hours. Together, they charged a total of $1,825. So why don't we use F and S for first mechanic, second mechanic, and these are going to be the rates. So rate of first mechanic, rate of second. So we know the combined rate is $140 per hour. So F plus S equals 140. And on a recent car, okay, so first mechanic worked for 20 hours, so 20F. Second mechanic worked for 5 hours, so plus 5S. And the total here was 1825. And now we just have a systems of equations that we know how to solve. So again, we can do this by hand, or we can just go to Desmos and plot it. So why don't we plot it in Desmos and see what we get? One thing, so same issue as usual, we're going to need to replace f and s. Let's do like x and y. So I have it marked. When you're taking your exam, definitely mark this on your scratch paper so that when you read out your answer at the end, you don't get confused. But all right, x plus y equals 140. And then 20x plus 5y equals 1825. And we're going to have to zoom out quite a bit. Not too much, actually. All right, so we have here 75, 65. So 75, 65. So remember, this is x, which we said was f. 65 we said was y. So first mechanic charges $75 per hour. Second mechanic charges $65 per hour. So let's do it. All right, first mechanic we said 75, second 65. All right, very good. Let's keep going. Ooh, okay, another word problem. Phone company offers 2 monthly charge plans. In Plan A, so let's just kind of set up our information. Customer pays a monthly fee of $43.60, and then an additional 6 cents per minute of use, so like 0.06. And they want M for minutes, so times the number of minutes. In Plan B, customer pays a monthly fee of $30. And then 8 cents per minute of use. And what is the amount of monthly phone use, or for what amounts of monthly phone use will Plan A cost less than Plan B? So we want A strictly less than B. Notice if they wanted equality, they'd say less than or equal to. And they want us to use M eventually when we write in our answer. Again, another one, we could do it by hand, but why don't we just go to Desmos and read off the answer from there? So we have 43.6 plus 0.06 x, sorry. And then we have 30 plus 0.08 x. All right, purple line is Plan A. We want, when is the purple line under the black line? So let's zoom out. All right, notice, okay, where do they intersect? Let's get their intersection. Here's the intersection. Let me zoom in just a bit more for us. All right, so they intersect after 680 minutes of phone use. So that's when they're equal. So notice purple line is under black line. So that's A less than B when M is larger than 680 minutes. So we need M greater than 680. So that will be our answer. So we'll go here and we'll say M greater than 680 minutes. Very good. All right, let's keep going. All right, this one, function h is defined as 3x squared plus 2. Find h of x plus 5. For these ones, students, I've been getting a lot of questions about them. Think of it as if it just said h of 3, what would you do? Well, you'd plug in 3 for x, and then you'd solve. It's the same kind of principle here where just everywhere we see x in h of x, we're going to replace it with x plus 5. So h of x plus 5 is equal to 3 times, now there's an x, I'm going to replace it with x plus 5. I need to square the whole thing and now add 2. So this is 3 times, now you could FOIL this, but I'm just going to write it out right away. So this is x squared plus 10x plus 25. And then this is plus 2. So then this is 3x squared. I'm just distributing the 3 now, plus 30x plus 75 plus 2. And this is 3x squared plus 30x plus 77. Very good. Right, so we have 3x squared plus 30x plus 77. Excellent, let's keep going. Oh, a domain one. All right, so this one's saying find the domain of the function, write your answer using interval notation. So for square roots or even roots, so like fourth roots, sixth roots, eight roots, we need what's under the square root to be greater than or equal to 0. So need 45 minus 9x greater than or equal to 0. Well, that means that 45 is greater than or equal to 9x. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 9. So then 5 is greater than or equal to x. Another way of saying this is that x is less than or equal to 5. If we draw a number line, let's say here's 5, then everything smaller than or equal to 5 is okay. So to write this in interval notation, we say negative infinity up to 5 is okay, and then we do a square bracket to mean go ahead and include it. So we have, let's see, we're going to want for typing in this answer. So negative, oops, I think I can just do negative infinity and then comma 5, and that will give us our answer. Keep going. All right, last problem. All right. This one says, Jessica is a software salesperson. Her base salary is $2,200 and she makes $80 more for every copy of Math is Fun she sells. Her total pay P in dollars after selling C copies is given by the following function. So that's, we could have written this ourselves because basically, how much money does she make? Well, $2,200 is base and then however many copies of Math is Fun she sells. So $80 per copy. If she sold one copy, then you'd add on $80. If she sold on no copies, then you'd have just $2,200. So what's her total pay if she sells 25 copies? Well, that's P of 25. So that's going to be 80 times 25 plus 2,200. So let's go ahead. I'm going to actually write this function in Desmos just to show you something. So I'm going to write it as P of x for Desmos. This is going to be 80x plus 2,200. Let's go to Desmos. All right, so we have P of x equals 80x plus 2,200. So if we do P of 25, she gets $4,200. So let's zoom out so we can see. There's our line. All right, so P of 25 is 4,200. Let's go type that in. And now we want, okay, if her total pay is 4,840, how many copies did she sell? So a couple different ways we could do this. I'm just going to go to the graph and look at 4,840 on the y-axis and see, what x value that corresponds to. So let's see, I've already forgotten the number. What do they want, 4,840? Yeah. All right. 4,800. I zoomed in too much. There's 4,840. Let's see if I can get it. Come on. So it looks like the X value there is 33. So she'd need to sell 33 books. And we can check here. So notice if you do P of 33, 4,840. Okay, very good. Let's clear drawings and let's submit and see how we did. All right, well done to us. We got 100%. Thanks for watching, everyone. Good luck studying and, let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video or in class. Bye.